走り出せら for your life あの日の夢まで諦めずに try and try きらめきはなくしたくない
Here's a great RPG that no one played. Khemia, Alchemists of Al-Revis for the PlayStation 2. Why didn't anyone play it? Because this came out for the PS2 in 2008. By that time, the system was absolutely flooded with RPGs. Also, many other gamers had moved on to the Xbox 360. Ironically, I picked up my copy of this game when my 360 died after only 10 months. Rather than send out for a coffin and have the POS repaired, I decided to trade it into GameStop for a bunch of RPGs. My friends thought I was stupid at the time, but I don't regret the decision one bit. The story in Khemia is a little odd because it's almost non-existent until late in the game. You'll get very small tidbits of story in each chapter, but the main focus during most of the adventure is just going to school and learning alchemy. The interactions with your various party members are fairly entertaining though, and help soften the blow of a weak story. You're also able to do kind of a social link type thing with your party members during your free time, which will affect the ending.
Anyway, 3 recruits. That's 4 including me. So is the problem solved?
Oh, but they're all freshmen, I believe.
That's right. Hopeful fresh meat.
The main things you will be doing in this game are battling and creating various items through alchemy. Much of your success in combat will depend heavily on how much item synthesis you do. These created items are not only used for battle, but are also the only ways to strengthen your party. That's because the game does not have levels for characters, but instead uses AP to boost stats and gain abilities in their grow books, which is Khemia's version of the sphere grid. The main difference here is that you are limited to activating boosts only for items you have synthesized.
What's wrong? I've let this.
I'll take it.
Everyone, please!
Combat starts off looking very similar to Final Fantasy X, but evolves into one of the best turn-based systems by the end of the game. You'll see turn cards on the top of the screen, which of course lets you know who acts next. This order will change based on your actions, and there are various skills that can manipulate the order. There is also time skills which will repeatedly cast spells. You can also swap characters on both offensive and defensive turns. You can use this to chain together large attacks, or to better defend yourself against a strong enemy attack. An added benefit of the defensive swapping is that each character has a special defensive ability. For instance, if you swap Jessin before an enemy hits you, she will heal the entire party for free. Or you can use Muppy to protect the entire party, etc. Your characters also regenerate when they are in the rear guard. It's a really fun and strategic battle system, and the developers did a great job balancing out the difficulty. One important combat-related thing to note is that there is a day-night cycle, which will affect the strength of the enemies. At the beginning of the game, when you only have 3 party members, it's best to avoid nighttime combat until you fill in a good chunk of the Grow Book or acquire some extra characters. For such a late PS2 release, the 3D backgrounds are a little disappointing. However, all the 2D stuff, including combat, looks great, and there is some really nice character art as well. Another nice touch is that every item in the game has a picture. Always love it when RPGs do that. One minor annoyance with that though is that there is a slight loading time for each one, which can make menu navigation a little aggravating at times. The game has an excellent soundtrack, and I couldn't find a bad piece of music on it. My favorite songs were Flay's theme and the bizarre Black Pulse of Love, which featured some barely audible rapping in the background. There's also some voice acting in the game, and most of it is fairly well done. Vane and Roxas both sounded great, and I really loved Flay's over-the-top superhero voice. One character that could have been voiced a little bit better was Tony, who is kind of Vane's rival at the Academy. Despite the fact that there is very little story at first, Khemia is still an excellent RPG. The game has some very enjoyable characters, great music, and one of the best turn-based battle systems. It may not be for everyone due to the heavy emphasis on alchemy, but if you don't mind crafting your own items, it's worth checking out. And that will do it for this one. As always, I want to thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you next time.